Hey guys, it's Rini here from Healing Tomato, and I want to introduce you to a new machine. It's called the NutraMilk, and this machine changed my life. I cannot tell you how easy it is to make your own butter and your own milk at home in this machine. You don't have to do a single thing except put your ingredients in the middle of the container of this NutraMilk machine, and it does all the work for you. So you could be doing your laundry, you could be doing some cooking while this machine is working in the background. So let's get started and let me show you how easy it is to make butter and milk in this machine. So this is the inside. It comes with a really sturdy blade, but you want to keep your fingers away from it because it is very sharp. It also has the inner compartment, and that's where you would put your nuts in it. So to put your inner compartment, you just drop it in and lock it in place, and it's actually very easy to do. So once you have that, you would put your nuts in the middle and your spices or whatever else you're using, and you'll see it will accumulate on the sides when you're making the butter. It also comes with wiper blades, and these blades are actually very effective because they are going to make sure that the edges, the sides of the compartment remain clean so that the butter accumulates at the bottom. And that's the lid. It's actually very easy to fit and it will lock in place. You have the lock button so it tells you exactly where to place it in. But I'm going to open it and actually show you how to use hazelnuts in there. Now I'm using raw hazelnuts, they're not roasted, and I also kept the skin on. I've seen people use it with the skin on and without the skin on, and personally I prefer having the skin on because it makes the butter even more creamier. So I'm going to drop this in the middle there and we're going to start making the butter. And you'll see how easy it is. All I have to do is drop it in and close the machine back up, and it will do all the work for you. So I was actually returning emails. I was catching up on my friends on their social media accounts. So this was so much more fun than I could even predict. So let me just lock this in place, and then I'm going to show you how to turn it on. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is power it on, and the button is actually on the side. So all you have to do is just press the power on, and we'll start making the butter. Okay, so now we're ready to make the butter. If you're making butter or if you're making milk, you are going to start off with the butter option regardless. Basically what it does is turns the nuts into liquid form, so it's easier to make milk out of it. But I like to use the butter option because making the butter is actually one of my favorite things about this machine. I still have to pinch myself so many times just to looking at it because I can make butter in like 20 minutes, which I find that to be just the coolest thing ever. So we're going to actually start by making the butter, and the butter option here is the first one, the first button there. So I'll just press the butter option, and the default time is 16 minutes, which is good if you're making hazelnuts. But all the other nuts that you make will take significantly less time. I've seen about 5 minutes on average for most nuts. Since hazelnuts are a little tougher to make, I would assume that's why it takes about 16 minutes or so. So I'm going to keep it at 16 minutes, and I'm going to hit the start button, and we are going to be on our way to making some really good homemade hazelnut butter. And we're done. The machine is actually very good. It stops by itself. You don't have to do anything. And I'm just going to pan over and look at that. It's delicious butter. I'm actually going to open it up and show you, but I can just want to show you on the side right now. It's already made the butter and separated it. So I will open it up and show you what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little close-up view of the butter. Look at that. Isn't that delicious? Let's move this a little. And you can see. Now that is what we call butter. And all done by the machine. You didn't have to do a single thing. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so we're not actually done. I'm going to add a few more things to it to make it even better. But if you wanted hazelnut butter, I mean, this is it. That's all you need. I'm actually going to add matcha to it and make matcha butter out of it. So in a bowl, add about a quarter cup of warm water. This is just water that I warmed in the microwave for about 15 seconds. And to that water, I'm adding about a half teaspoon of matcha powder. It might be slightly more, so we'll say about 2/3 of a teaspoon of matcha powder. And to the matcha powder water, I am going to add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of dark maple syrup. You can use honey too if you like, but you can add more than half a teaspoon of matcha powder if you prefer. I just wanted to test it out for the first time, so I didn't really go too heavy on the matcha powder. But now that I think about it, I think I would like it to have a little more matcha in the butter. But either way, this is the mixture, and I'm going to go and pour it into the machine. Okay, so here's the hazelnut butter that we made earlier, and I am going to pour in the matcha mixture that we just made. And when I first made this video, I was a little hesitant about putting the whole matcha water into it, so I put it into it few spoons at a time. But when you're making it, you can just go ahead and pour the whole thing into the hazelnut butter because it actually works much better that way. Anyway, so this is ready, and I'm just going to close it up, and I will show you how to mix up this mixture again. Okay, I'm going to press the mix button, and it says 1 minute by default, so I'm just going to leave that for now, and we're going to do a 1 minute mixing. So I'm going to start. Cycle now. And that's all you have to do is put in a few hazelnuts, put in the matcha powder and a little bit of maple syrup, and you will have your perfect homemade hazelnut matcha butter. As you can see, it is so soft, creamy, and smooth. I just feel like reaching into the screen and dipping my finger into it. So go to healingtomato.com and you will find all the instructions on how to make this butter at home. And you can also get your hands on one of this NutraMilk machines. You'll get about $50 off if you go purchase it today. There's a promo code I put into the blog. So thank you for watching, and come back and tell me what you think of this machine.